Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, I guess we should get the elephant out of the room, and of course, you started seeing that some of the headlines regarding Mariano Rivera and some sort of cover-up of sexual abuse that went on, I guess, one of his baseball camps or through the church there. So, it's not just Joe Schmo, it's Mariano Rivera. A great Yankee, and of course, we just got over the Hall of Fame now, and unanimous 100% votes getter for the Hall of Fame there. So, it's definitely worth mentioning. Definitely raises the eyebrow, and you can't just not look at him. It is Mariano Rivera. So, you may not be sure what's actually going on here, what's all the details. So, I figure I'll just break it down. So, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast. This is why you want to be a podcast subscriber. Get my rants and reviews and raves about things such as this, and of course, on the field, off the field, and of course, go to the YouTube channel as well, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. Subscribe there as well. So, again, I'm sure you've been seeing all the headlines regarding Mariano Rivera, and it seems like saying he covered up some sort of sexual abuse that was going on. I guess it was a baseball camp through his church group that was going down in Florida here. So I kind of looked at the whole thing, and now, obviously a lot has to come out. Let's just see here. But it's Mariano Rivera. It's very hard to see that he knew stuff was going on and he kind of just tried to hush it, or as it says, allegation, him and his wife isolated this girl and tried to just intimidate her into submission and keep quiet about it, stuff like that. I really find that hard to believe. So kind of let's look back at a couple of a few of the different articles on it just to see the breakdown of what happened here. So it was basically through his church that I guess he had a baseball camp that was in Gainesville, Florida. Now this goes back to 2018. And there's a girl who, again, this doesn't mention her name, but says she was born in 2007, so she would have been 11 years old at the time, was being, I guess, sexually touched or abused or whatever, groped by an older girl. Now, supposedly there was about 15 incidents that happened both in the bunk bed area, I guess, where they camped out, and as well as in the shower. So this was back in 2018. Now, according to Mariano Rivera's attorneys like that, they had no idea any of this was going on. They finally received a legal notice back in 2022. So this is about 4 years after supposedly these incidents were going on, asking for some sort of financial restitution from this. So look, to me, this looks like a bit of a shakedown, a couple of things going wrong here, because now it looks like they reached out for money in 2022, and now this is circling back again 6-7 years later now, looking for a bigger financial settlement. So this looks like a bit of a shakedown a little bit to me, just to be frank about the whole thing. Just Mariano Rivera, the way he is, and again, a very God-fearing person, all that stuff. If something like this was going on and he's kind of hush-hushed it and try to cover it up and try to intimidate people and to keep quiet about it and all that stuff, I just really find that hard to believe, because now this incident, again, this wasn't just one incident. This is like 15 incidents regarding with that. And then there's another allegation of 2021 where now a male. So the situation in 2018 was supposedly done by an older female abusing this girl. And then in 2021, there's also an accusation that an older male within the church, now this has nothing to do with Rivera, but the actual church, a deacon, I guess someone higher up, was also having some sort of physical relationship with this girl as well. Again, that has nothing to do with the Riveras in this point. Is this the girl in that? So there was also, I guess, again, trying to take legal action against the church for that. And again, also there was supposedly one other incident, let's go back to 2018, between this older girl and the younger girl at Rivera's, I guess, Rye-Brook home in Westchester. I guess he was having a barbecue. And again, there was a situation where the older girl touched the other girl, some sort of sexual thing like that. So, hey, look, I understand you're an 11-year-old girl and you're intimidated and you don't, maybe you're embarrassed, you don't want to say anything about it like that. But also, it just seemed like there's a lot going on with this girl for a long time, and she's not saying anything. And then she has this other relationship with the guy as well, and says she's again the victim. Now, supposedly this girl's mother's saw, I guess, like they said, electronic communication. Looks like she was going back and forth, maybe texting with this guy and hooking up and stuff like that. And I just think the thing stinks. I just think it's a money grab, trying to go after Rivera's and his money. Feel sorry for the girl if something did happen there, but it does not look like a Joe Paterno Sandusky situation where you go back to that college football situation where Sandusky supposedly was abusing young kids at the camp for a long time, and Joe Paterno, the longtime legendary coach there, knew about this and did nothing about it for a long time. And this does not seem to be that situation. I saw some people, it's like, kick Rivera out of the Hall of Fame. He's garbage. He's this, he's that. Let's just put the brakes on a little bit. I'm sure a lot of stuff needs to come out here, but if you just read the story here, it just seems very fishy. And frankly, to me, you'd think after a couple times you'd speak up and say something about it. And then now this is all coming back, and this girl's trying to be the victim, and maybe she was, I don't know. But to me, it just seems like this is going on for a couple of times. It could just be more like two girls want to do that. The mother finds out, oh, great, well, maybe now I could get my payday now. Then maybe I could cash in on this. So to me, that's what it seems like right now. So we'll see, how more of this comes out here. But I just find it hard to believe. They say that the Riveras, knew about this in 2018 and try to go down there and confronted the girl and the mother and try to intimidate them and say, keep your mouth quiet and don't talk about this, blah, 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 blah. Cause if that would happen then why wasn't any lawsuit or why wasn't any legal action or why the police called then? Why is this all happening in one case 4 years later with the 2022 financial settlement request, and now then another 3 years again with this. Now this big stuff is hitting the papers in a bigger lawsuit there. So again, this is very fishy. If usually something happens, you nip it in the bud there. I understand his victimhood and stuff like that, and kids, you want to go back and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. But it just seems like the mother was, keeping this kid in the church for a while and kind of just staying quiet on this. And all of a sudden this is all coming out. So to me, just very fishy. And again, innocent until proven guilty. I just find it hard to believe that if Mariano Rivera actually knew something like this was going on, a child was being abused constantly and ongoing, and he did nothing about it. I just really find that hard to believe. So, I would just tell everyone just put the brakes on a little bit, let it play out. But to me, it just seems fishy that the mother keeps quiet about this and then, asked for money in 2022 and now is asking for money 3 years later there. So, 11 years old, I'm not going to blame her for anything, but, she's kind of engaging in this stuff and then engages with a guy just a couple years later at the same church. I mean, just why don't you leave the church? Why are you still in this church? Why, so it just seems a little fishy. Like this girl's kind of hanging around and getting involved with all these different people. So, she may not be an angel either there. So I can't believe Mariano knew something like this, or, the wife knew something specifically going on. They have kids of their own. They have 4 or 5 kids that then they just sit there and do nothing about it. And I just really find that hard to believe. So, put the brakes on. And I know, people, Mariano Rivera is immaculate and he has, zero bad to say about him. He's kind of had this spotless really career, if you look about it, with everything about him. So, if people find one thing, let's get him now. And, everyone on Twitter and everyone else in social media wants to jump on him. And because, you finally see a chink in the armor, a crack in the armor, you want to jump on it. So let's see the facts here, because it's just very fishy that, this stuff's coming out 6 years later. Again, if something happens to you, you bring it up right away. And I just think, personally, on the side, I think this is a money grab, try to extort or shake down the Riveras, but we'll see how it plays out. So that's the episode, short and sweet. Just maybe curious what's going on here. Maybe this is one of the things you want to look at because we treasure Mariano Rivera so much. He's a godlike, and you just don't want to see any bad things associated with him, so maybe you didn't want to read into it. So that's the story there. So you can read it yourself. There's plenty of articles, but again, let's just let all the facts come out. Catch you next time.